Welcome friends to another video. Welcome to another list this time around. This might be something new for my international audience, but not for my Romanian audience, because every single year I do a list of fragrances that I'm going to take with me on holiday, on summer holiday. Therefore, these are my 15 fragrances that I'm going to take with me on this year's summer holiday. So the principle is very simple. I'm gonna wear a different fragrance each day of the holiday. The first one comes from the house of Penthaligon's, and this is an amazing creation called Orange Blossom. And as the name suggests, it involves orange blossom, but there's more to it, especially a very beautiful and well natural done cardamom note. So the combination between these two notes is simply amazing. This is a fragrance that I'm gonna wear in the evening, especially. I wouldn't wear this one in high temperatures, in high heat. Therefore, for evening scenarios, I'm definitely gonna need Orange Blossom. Amazing scent, amazing performance, longevity, projection, and sillage. It smells simply beautiful. First one, Orange Blossom from Penthaligon's. The second one comes from a designer house, one of my favorite designer houses, and this is of course Guerlain and Guerlain Lumidar Sport, which I recently re-added to my collection. This is one of the best aquatic fragrances that were ever produced and that are still available on the market today. You have a very beautiful combination between almond and aquatic notes. This is so beautiful and so great in hot summer heat, and also you can wear this one throughout the year because I've worn it so many times throughout the years, especially in winter time, in spring, in fall, and I had no issues with performance or the scent. It simply smells great. It's very clean, it's very refreshing, it's very uplifting at the same time, and this is a manly fragrance. Lumidar Sport, a fragrance that's not so much talked about compared to other fragrances from this house. Speaking of which, a beautiful gem that got discontinued almost 3 years ago, and ever since I said in my videos, go ahead and grab it and add it to your collection, because this one will disappear from the market and prices will skyrocket, and apparently the time has come for it to vanish from the market. It's becoming very hard to find a bottle, especially a 100 ml bottle like this one. This is Lumidar Colon, a beautiful, incredible, amazing citrusy fragrance. It's so beautiful. You got citruses combined with almond, and the end result is something very refreshing and very creamy at the same time. This is one of my favorite fragrances all time, if you want. This is one of my favorite fragrances for summertime, and not only summertime, because as I always say, you can wear a fragrance whenever you want, however you want, if you want, as long as it makes you happy, not somebody else. Lumidar Colon unfortunately got discontinued and replaced by Lumidar Cool, which isn't a bad fragrance, but unfortunately it doesn't compare to what Lumidar Colon actually is, and this is a masterpiece. Next one up comes from the house of Dsquared, and this is their latest release. This is Dsquared To Wood. Finally, Dsquared, in their new lineup, decided to make a fragrance that resembles quite a lot with the original Dsquared To Wood, another masterpiece that got discontinued 3 years ago. And this To Wood basically brings back a lot of memories for me, because He Wood was my signature scent for more than 14 years. Therefore, I really enjoy how this one smells. This is very fresh, it's very clean, and it's very woody at the same time, with some citrusy accords in the background. This resembles actually quite a lot to the original, although this one doesn't feature violets inside the composition. Very good performance at the same time with Dsquared To Wood, so I highly recommend you to give it a try. I'm gonna definitely enjoy wearing this one in this holiday. Next one up comes again from the house of Dsquared, and this is a discontinued fragrance from the old line, Dsquared Potion Blue Cadet. This is simply beautiful. So fresh, so uplifting, so bright, so clean, so manly, with a herbal tint, if you want, It's simply amazing. The main ingredient in this fragrance, for those of you who don't know what it is hemlock, which is pretty peculiar, if you're asking me, to find hemlock in a fragrance, especially that hemlock is a poisonous plant. But it smells simply fantastic, and especially in hot summer days, and this has really amazing performance. Next one up comes from the house of Christian Dior, and this is the classic Dior Sauvage. I simply love this line. This is the only line that I love from Christian Dior, the Sauvage line. These are the only fragrances that I actually enjoy wearing from this house, and these are the only fragrances that I always recommend to someone if they are interested to purchase a new fragrance from the house of Dior. Sauvage is simply amazing. You have bergamot, amazing fizzy bergamot combined with rosemary. It's simply outstanding. Very good performance, a classy, manly, elegant, refreshing fragrance that's good to wear throughout the year, but especially in moderate and high temperatures. Dior Sauvage, a beautiful classical gem. Let's go to the next one, and the next one comes from the house of Penhaligon's again, and this is LP number 9 for men. This is discontinued, unfortunately. You can still find it, but quite hard, especially on their site. If I'm not mistaken, you can find it if you're interested. It costs about 120 or 140 pounds, British pounds. But this is simply amazing. If you love clove, then you need this one in your collection. This is so beautiful, so elegant, so masculine, so refreshing at the same time. And the cloves in this one are simply amazing, amazing. This is a scent that I'm going to wear again in the evening throughout this holiday, this vacation that I'm going to take. But this is a fragrance that you really must have in your collection, especially if you love cloves. Very, very long lasting with very good projection and sillage. This is a compliment magnet. It simply attracts a lot of compliments and it smells so beautiful. I highly recommend you, if you don't know this fragrance, LP number 9 for men, because there is also LP number 9 for women. I highly recommend you to hunt it down, to buy a sample or decant, and to try it out. Most definitely, you're gonna end up buying a full bottle. Next one up comes from the house of Acqua di Parma, and this is their latest release from the Colonia lineup, Colonia Futura. A modern interpretation of the original Colonia, if you want, but this time around, this comes with a very good performance. Scent-wise is a bit more mature leaning, but I don't see a problem about this. Therefore, be advised, it's a more mature leaning fragrance toward a more mature audience, but this is definitely a manly fragrance. It's a gentleman's fragrance if you want. You have a very beautiful lavender note inside. You have a lot of citruses and green notes. So the end result is actually really nice. Again, a fragrance that I'm going to wear in the evening, not throughout the day, because I wouldn't wear this one in 40 degrees Celsius, for example. It may become a bit overcloying, but during the evening or nighttime, this is simply amazing, very refreshing, very elegant, very clean, very nice creation from Acqua di Parma. And will remain in the house of Acqua di Parma, because the next fragrance is from the Blue Mediterranean lineup. Basically a lineup made specifically for summertime, if you ask me, and not only. This is Fico di Amalfi. If you love pigs, well, what can I say? You need to have this one in your collection. That's the only thing. Amazing scent, very good performance, at least on my skin, just like with most of the fragrances from Acqua di Parma. There is one exception, and it's featured in this video. But this one gives me no issues in terms of longevity, projection, or sillage. A very beautiful interpretation of figs. I really love this one. Next one up comes the exception, as I said, and the exception is called Bergamot di Calabria. Unfortunately, this is the least performing fragrance on my skin from the entire house of Acqua di Parma, and especially from the Blue Mediterranean lineup. It doesn't feature the best performance. Longevity-wise, I get somewhere around or between 6 to 8 hours, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong, But as I said it before, when a scent is that great, you really need for it to perform a lot better. And this is the case, unfortunately. The bergamot inside this one is so natural, so zesty, so juicy, so beautiful, so bright and uplifting, if you want. It's very invigorating at the same time, energizing, if you want. Therefore, I would have preferred it to, I don't know, to perform at least like Fico di Amalfi, for example. It would have been so, so great. Nonetheless, the list scent-wise, this is simply amazing, especially if you love bergamot. Next one up, let's go and smell some oranges, and this is Arancia Di Capri, the amazing orange from Acqua di Parma. This smells so good. You get a combination between oranges and caramel, which is simply amazing. Delicious, to say the least. Very natural orange juice smelling, if you want. A beautiful creation. I honestly love this one. This for me, this is the best orange fragrance that you can purchase. Honestly, it's my opinion. You may have other preferences, but for me, this one smells so natural. It's like you're picking oranges from the orange tree and start smashing them in your hands, and the juice from the orange is dripping on your hands, or from your hands. That's the impression or the sensation that I get every single time. And the last one is called Kinoto di Liguria, the most underrated fragrance from the Blue Mediterranean lineup, if you ask me. The least known, actually, because you don't really find a lot of reviews about this one. And this is an amazing scent. It wasn't love at first sniff for me, to be honest with you. But the more I wore this fragrance, the more I liked it and eventually fell in love with the composition. This is based, as the name suggests, on the fruit of Kinoto. If you ever drink Spritz Aperol, well, Aperol is made from Kinoto. So this is what Kinoto actually is. It's such a beautiful, citrusy, zesty, refreshing, and I would say fizzy at the same time scent. It's absolutely amazing in hot weather. It's just gorgeous. It smells very clean. It gives you somewhat of a soapy vibe if you want, but not as pronounced, for example, as Colonia Essenza if you want. The reason for which Colonia Essenza isn't actually in this list and won't actually make the trip with me this year is because of Kinoto di Liguria. Performance-wise, this is my second best performing Blue Mediterraneo fragrance after Mandorlo di Sicilia. This has really great longevity on my skin. And when I say longevity, I mean with Mandorlo di Sicilia, I usually get 24 hours on my skin. So this one is my second favorite one in terms of performance. I don't get 24 hours with it, but still I do get somewhere around 14 hours, which is simply great. Next fragrance up comes from the house of Nishane. This is Nishane Colonies. I wouldn't say this is the most original fragrance that I ever smelled or bought or owned, but nonetheless, it does smell quite nice, quite great. Unfortunately, it isn't very unique, mainly because it resembles so much with 4711 from Maurer and Wirtz, and they share actually a lot of the ingredients of the notes, but this one adds a very beautiful green tea note inside, which basically gives this fragrance a new dimension. It's very, very well blended. It's very nice smelling. It's very good for high heat, if you ask me. Performance-wise, it isn't the best projecting, or it doesn't leave the biggest scent trail behind you. But longevity-wise, for a citrusy-based fragrance, it's actually quite good. I usually get about somewhere between 12 to 14 hours of longevity on my skin with this fragrance every single time that I wear it. Yes, I would have preferred it to project a lot stronger, to leave a bigger scent trail behind me. But for what it is, a lot of citruses, lemon specifically, with some watery notes and also that green tea note, still it does perform really great. And especially in hot summer days, this is actually quite good. Perhaps it doesn't justify the price, but well, that's subjective. If you want to buy it, you're going to buy it. If you don't, you don't. Let's go to the house of Mancera. The first one is Wild Fruits, the beautiful fruit salad from Mancera, which I truly enjoy and appreciate. This is a fragrance made for holidays, if you ask me, but not only, because I've worn this one in very, very nasty weather, especially in winter time, with temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius. And believe it or not, I had no issues with performance or with the scent itself. So for me, it's a fragrance that I'm gonna wear and can wear whenever I want. This is a beautiful fruit salad. Very refreshing, very uplifting. It's an energy boost if you want. Therefore, I highly recommend Wild Fruits. Again, one of the most underrated fragrances from the house of Manchera. One fragrance that it's, let's say, talked about very rarely, if you ask me. So I don't really understand why, because compared to other fragrances that Manchera has to offer, this actually is quite interesting and really good, also performance-wise. And the last one, of course, Sisley from Manchera. Whew, every single time that I wear this fragrance, I fall in love more and more with the scent. I wasn't the biggest fan in the beginning, but it managed to surprise me. It managed to climb step by step or stair by stair, if you want, in my list of preferred Manchera fragrances. I really love the fruits in the opening, especially the peach note, which I consider it to be one of the best ever that I sniffed in a fragrance. And also, I love the jasmine in this one. The only drawback for me is actually the fact that the opening, which brings that beautiful fruit salad made out of peach, made out of apple, grapefruit, bergamot, and whatnot, isn't very long lasting compared to other fruity offerings from the house of Manchera, for example, wild fruits, because I've just spoken about it. But that would be the only drawback. Mainly because the florals come and take the control, especially the jasmine combined with the ylang ylang and the rose from this one. You also get some musk and some woody notes in the base, but well, it's all about the florals in this one, accompanied by a beautiful fruit salad, especially made out of peach. Very beautiful peach in the opening of this fragrance. Very delicious, very gourmand, very, I would say, ripe would be the right term to describe the peach note found in Manchera, Sicily. It smells simply amazing, and also performance-wise, this is a very good scent. Really impressed, and I really enjoy wearing this one. Therefore, it will be my luggage for when I leave on my summer holiday. Therefore, it's a must-have for me to have this fragrance and to enjoy it, especially in those conditions. So guys, these are my 15 fragrances that I'm going to take with me in my summer holiday this year in 2021. I'm going to make a video about this subject every year. These are 15 fragrances that I'm going to carry with me, because this is what I usually do. Every single year, I decide what fragrances to take with me in my luggage, and afterwards, I can wear every single day out of my holiday a different scent. I know that there might be people who say, come on, you won't carry 15 or 20 fragrances with you. Trust me, I'm the guy, or I am that guy that actually carries those fragrances with him and also wears those his holiday. You can carry 5, 10, 2, 3, 5, I don't know, whatever your number is. Everyone decides what's best for him. This is how I do my things, and this is how I do stuff. Therefore, everyone takes his own decisions. For me, these are the fragrances that I'm going to take with me. For you, these are 15 fragrance recommendations. So you can decide to purchase all of them. You can decide to purchase only 5 out of 15, or maybe only one, or why not none. That's, again, your decision. As always, though, I suggest you to first try them out, to buy decants or samples, to see how they perform on you, to see how they smell, and only afterwards, based on your own conclusions, because this is the most important aspect, go ahead and purchase a full bottle or not. All that I can do is to come and tell you in my videos my experience with these products that I own, that I buy on my own skin. We may have different experiences, we can definitely have different skins, So keep this in mind. As always, my friends, thank you for watching, thank you for your support. Be safe, be good, and remember, smell good, feel good. I'm gonna catch you from the beach. Peace.